Make sure to subscribe and of course ring that bell, turn those notifications on so you don't miss my next video. Hey everyone, it's Krystin and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. So for today's video, I am going to walk you through a really easy tutorial on how to create an ice skating rink in your home. So first thing I did was give this like some snowflake wallpaper and some snow on the ground. Now next thing that you are going to want to do is go over into the party section and pull out those thick floor barriers. So you don't need to do this step. I just thought that it kind of made it look a little bit cuter and just kind of more like focused on the actual like skating rink. So I ended up using 4 of these and I put them all together side by side. And of course we turned them white color to kind of blend in with the ground. So the next thing that we are going to be doing is pulling out that white vase, I think it is called. This is just kind of over in the decoration. Now the only thing is, you guys, this is the most expensive part because we are going to be using a lot of these. Now you definitely do not need to make it as big or use as many of these as I did, but I just kind of really wanted to make it look like there were kind of like shoveled piles of snow, and it just kind of made it look a little bit more detailed. So what I ended up doing was kind of lining the sides. We still had a place to walk up onto the skating rink, and we are going to use a bunch of the trees because it just looks cuter, and you guys are going to be seeing me use 3 colors for these trees. So we use white, gray, and a really nice icy blue. So yeah, we're just kind of giving them a little bit of a pattern. So we have like the taller trees in the back and like of course the medium in the middle and then the shorter ones in the front. So originally I did start with like all white and gray. You guys can choose to use only white trees if you think it looks more wintry, but I do go back in, you guys will see, and kind of play around with the colors of those. So I really don't like when like the tips or like the little bottom planters of the trees are peeking through. So what I wanted to do, instead of like pull the trees a little bit shorter into the ground, I ended up just kind of making those snow piles, cover it up, and use the barriers to do a different layer of the snow. So you guys are just gonna see me kind of fill it in, and I honestly think it looks really freaking cute. And I did keep it all white just because I didn't want to make this look like, you know, pushed ice. I wanted to make it definitely stick with that snow theme. So I didn't want to do like a straight line. I definitely recommend you guys to kind of make this not look perfect, because if you guys ever go in an ice skating rink, there are just like random piles in the corners from being like shoveled off. So that's kind of the theme that I went, a little bit of like rounded edges, and it just kind of like moves curved, you know, in and out, if that makes sense at all. So again, I just kind of came in here and duplicated that again, where we just kind of used the barriers to bring up a little bit of a higher level of that snow and just kind of filled in all of those dark spaces and holes again, so it just looks like a little bit of a hill. So you guys are gonna see over time I am going to fill in the sides of this as well. So next up, we are going back in and changing the color because like I said, I thought maybe just all white was a little bit too snowy. So we have a little bit of maybe like melting snow and ice on the trees. So I kind of used the 3 colors of that really nice pastel-y blue, and it is a little bit different from the walls as well. So everything doesn't like completely blend in. And then I come into the front and kind of change that because I feel like this is gonna have so much snow that the green trees would kind of stand out, I think, a little bit too much. So next what we're gonna do is pull in 2 of those large mirrors and just kind of like pull them together. Now this is probably the best thing for ice that I have found in game, and the mirrors are definitely expensive, but you do only need 2 of those large mirrors and then just 2 of those shorter ones. You're just gonna make sure that they fit together. It doesn't have to be perfect because again, you are gonna have that snow edge all along, but I did end up just trying to make sure that they fit together. So kind of just has that glassy ice top finish. Now what we're gonna do is just make sure that every section of these snow piles and trees are covered in the front and back, just because it does look a little bit more finished if you are actually like up on the ice. So again, same thing, just pulling in the snow with different layers. Now, I don't really like leaving the edges completely perfect either, so I end up just kind of duplicating those trees. One thing that I wish though is that the mirrors did not turn black because I know that a lot of people do use those for windows, but I really wish that no matter what, those mirrors still kept like that reflection. But again, we are just going in with the different levels of the trees and the snow. I don't like using only the same tree. You guys will notice that I like using all of the different shapes and sizes just because it does look a little bit more realistic with like a forest and different like bunches of trees. So we had that finish, and of course we needed to go onto the back side as well. So we're just kind of going back here. Now, if you guys do want to save money, you definitely do not need to do this in your own, like on the bag. And on mine, on that really long section on the back of trees and snow, I didn't actually add one because that would probably cost like a couple $100 just to do that. And I am trying to like save my money. So of course, when you go skating at like public rinks or at like community different ponds, there's always benches there. So definitely needed to add this. And of course, if you take your pet, you're gonna need to have them sit somewhere. So we added those from the forest. And again, we are gonna have that match. So we have like some white, gray, and blue trees to match that other side. So this one has a little bit more, and you guys can see that I actually use the larger tree over here as well because I don't like having like two sides look the same. So you guys, like I said, there's really no wrong way to do this. It just is supposed to kind of look, you know, messy and not perfect. And that kind of is what makes it look a little bit realistic. And then again, we're just filling that in. So one thing that I really hope that we get with an update, and it taught me, is some trees that do not have those little square planters. Just because if you are trying to make like outside area, it kind of makes it a little bit difficult. And the same thing with this one, we're just gonna fill in that snow here. So I think if we had like snowball launchers, it would kind of be perfect to have those like snowballs flying around in here. So we're just kind of filling this in, and you guys will see that there is a little bit of like gaps. So I just kind of like pull in to kind of have all of those little spaces covered up. So back over onto the pond, I wanted this to look a little bit not as perfect again. So I ended up making it look like some of the snow was kind of melting and falling down into the ice. So I laid these ones actually sideways so they weren't all pointing up, so we had some laying down. So this I kind of pictured to be maybe like some beautiful little lights or like some of those like hanging fairy lights. So I end up using 4 of these. These can actually be found in the decorations, and I just kind of made them match because the bottom one will be white, so I thought the blue just kind of made it look a little bit more cozier. And again, you don't need to use those if you do want to save money. So if you are going to be coming here at nighttime skating, I wanted to make sure that we had some lanterns. So I like the ones that are like the second from the front. I think they're only $6. And I did keep these red just because they kind of reminded me of candy canes. So I only put 4 of these in there. And of course, we can't have ice and snow without a penguin. So you don't need to add this step, but I just kind of used the barriers to have that lamp sitting on one of the benches to make it look like it's actually a real penguin. And we have one up by the stairs and one up on the ice as well. Like I said, you guys don't actually need to use those. So I was kind of figuring out what we could use for a sign. So I ended up using 2 of the glowing ones. And I ended up using the darker blue just so that you could actually see the font on it a little bit better. So you are going to see me kind of pull it over just because I thought it was a little bit out of the way. So we now have our signs. You guys can invite your friends over for ice skating, and you are just going to want to use that barrier to kind of make it look like it's, you know, built in the snow. And I end up putting a little bit more snow behind just so that it doesn't look like it's floating in the air. All right, you guys, well, I really hope that you did enjoy today's build tutorial that is super easy, and it ended up costing $2,384. So like I said, you guys can save money by not using as much snow or those little penguins as well. So of course, make sure to give today's video a very big thumbs up. It always lets me know you guys did enjoy, and of course, make sure to subscribe if you have not already, and hopefully I'm gonna see you all next time. Bye guys!